are watching Channel Adrian TV.
Yo, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, X, wherever you're listening or watching this. Welcome back to my top GPP and cash plays for the NFL Week 12. And y'all remember, this is for FanDuel. And I know I didn't do my results from last week, so let me go ahead and tell y'all I lost because if you remember, I had Josh Jacobs. So when Josh Jacobs got hurt, I immediately knew I wasn't going to cash that week. So right now for this year, I am 7-4 in FanDuel. So hopefully I can win this week because this is the first time this season I lost back-to-back weeks. So let me give you my top cash plays and GPP plays for FanDuel. My bad, I forgot. Let me read the disclaimer. Disclaimer. These NFL Week 12 FanDuel picks are for entertainment and informational purposes only and reflect my personal opinions. They are not gambling or financial advice. Please check that daily fantasy sports or sports wagering is legal where you live and play responsibly. Only risk what you can afford to lose. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org for support. Now let's get into the plays. For quarterback, cash, Drake May, Patrick Mahomes, GPPs, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, and Jacoby Brissett. Now, honestly, y'all, I'm going to pay up this week because I don't really see an advantage as far as going to cheaper quarterbacks, and plus the game, that situation that Drake May is in. So in cash for FanDuel, I will be using Drake May unless something crazy happens. But for right now, it is going to be Drake May. I just put Patrick Mahomes there because he is on the cheaper side to where he can be technically a cash game play. But in my personal opinion, I would lean Drake May because you can also put Patrick Mahomes in a GPP type of contest. And also keep in mind, the quarterbacks I have in GPPs, it doesn't mean you can't use them in cash. You can if you want to, but I'm just saying from my point of view of how I'm viewing this slate, I would probably play Drake May as my cash quarterback in FanDuel. Now for running backs, cash, Chase Brown, Emmanuel Wilson, Bijan Robinson, Derrick Henry, GPPs, Jahmyr Gibbs, Aston Genty, Kenneth Walker III. And also Derrick Henry can be a GVP play as well. It really depends on how your lineup's gonna look this week because once I get to Trey McBride in the tight end situation, they price him so high, you technically can replace Trey McBride in the running back position. And since he's been scoring so much, you can kind of use him as your third option instead of running the basic normal free running back. So it just really depends on your lineup. And this is why I don't number them. This is why I just put them in groups because depending on how your lineup is, it'll immediately change what you think about another player or what you can do with your lineup. For wide receivers, cash, Amon-Ra St. Brown, T. Higgins, Wendell Robinson, Rashid Rice, Jacoby Myers, Michael Wilson. GPPs, Chris Olave, Devontae Smith, Darnell Mooney, Zay Flowers, Jamison Williams, CeeDee Lamb. For tight ends, Trey McBride, Kyle Pitts Sr., Travis Kelce, and for GPPs, Harold Finnan and Hunter Henry. Trey McBride is going to be tricky because he is so expensive this week. It's going to be tough if you put Trey McBride as your tight end. It's going to be tough to run a 3 running back set. So that's going to be the decision a lot of people are going to weigh. And in my personal opinion, I think you have to play Trey McBride because I know technically the best cash game options from that point would be Kyle Pitts and Travis Kelce. But if you look how Trey McBride has been going off and you look at his score, I think he's a must play in all cash games, in my personal opinion. Even though I know he costs a lot, I just think his cost is warranted. And I'll put his score log up. If you look at his points, he's scoring 20 points, over 20 points the last 2 games. You're going to need those 20 points in cash games. Now, tournament, it varies, but just for cash, I think you got to find a way to get Trey McBride in. Now, y'all, let me go for my picks of the week. And remember, y'all, I just put this in the video. I don't put any money on these picks, but I'll be honest with y'all. Thursday night, I would have lost because I for sure thought the Bills were going to win. But for whatever reason, Buffalo's defense, they can't stop anybody. And if Buffalo's defense can't stop anybody, y'all know I'm a Patriots fan, so I'm biased. I'm happy about that. I wouldn't mind seeing them in the playoffs. If their defense is this bad, they're going to make it to the AFC Championship. Now, for Pittsburgh and Chicago, it depends on if Rodgers can play. If Rodgers can play, I would lean at Pittsburgh. But if Rodgers not going to play, I would lean at Chicago. My Pats versus Cincinnati. Y'all know I'm going with my Pats, regardless if Joe Burrow comes back or not. Giants versus the Lions. I got the Lions. Minnesota versus Green Bay. I'm not sure about that one because I know the line says Green Bay to win, but I need to see if Jacobs going to play. Well, if Jacobs doesn't play, I'll give the slight edge to Green Bay, so I'll give it to Green Bay. Seattle and Tennessee, I'll give it to Seattle. Colts for Kansas City. I know I always say you don't doubt Mahomes. I think the Colts find a way to win this game. And then if the Colts win this game, it's going to be very bleak for the Kansas City Chiefs to make the playoffs, which is going to be crazy. They're not making the playoffs, but only time will tell. Now the Jets versus the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to win that. Browns versus Vegas. This is technically going to be Shador Sanders' first start, but I would have to say Vegas. I would have to go give my edge to the Raiders. Now Jacksonville versus the Cardinals. I know they got Jacksonville being the favorite, but Jacoby Brissett has that Arizona offense balling. I know they're missing people like Marvin Harrison Jr., but if you, like I said, Trey McBride and also Michael Wilson, who I can't remember if I said that, but Michael Wilson is a cash play as well, because since they're so depleted in the receiving core, I think Arizona can win this game. So I'm going to take Arizona in the upset in that one. Eagles versus Dallas. I got Eagles. Falcons versus New Orleans. That's sad. Cause y'all know since I live in Georgia, I want Falcons to win, but they got New Orleans as a favorite, and I can see why. And I know Kirk Cousins is gonna start, but he hasn't looked good, so I'm gonna have to go with the Saints. And the Buccaneers versus the Rams, I'll take the Rams. And San Fran versus Carolina, I'm going to take San Fran for Monday Night Football. Y'all, I just want to say I appreciate all the support. And if you want to see sneaker reviews, FanDuel, reaction videos, early morning and late nights, motivation, relationship topics, anything you could think of, subscribe to channel Adrian TV. And if you are playing this week in week 12, good luck to all of you.